I'm laying down on the doctor's table, and I hear the doctor and the nurse prepping outside the door, trying to get their head straight and figure out how they're going to tell me something. It seems like it's something important, and I'm not really sure what it is. They both walk in and have a serious look on their face. They both sit down next to me and pull the chair up to me, and they are not looking very pleasant. And the doctor leans in and puts her hand on me and tells me that I have cancer or that you can't have kids. We're not sure, but it's one or the other. Now, let me tell you the true story, the untold story of what's been really going on for the past year. Welcome to KnowledgeForMen.com, where you're going to grow into the man you want to be. Your life will never be the same again. I can guarantee it. After the podcast launched back in November 2013, the Knowledge for Men blog was seeing crazy amounts of traffic, exposure, and a new level of brand and credibility in this space for men. I couldn't have asked for anything better. And the way things were going with that launch of the podcast, the guests that I had, I closed 2013 interviewing some of my favorite authors like Robert Greene, Hal Elrod, and Mike Michalowicz, and just had an all-star lineup going into 2014. Let's just say that I was on cloud 9 and had so much energy coming into 2014, and that is, as we know it, supposed to be the year of the crush. Well, for myself, it didn't really turn out that way. It may have on the external and the things that I've built and the things that I've done, but on the internal and the internal struggle was a whole nother story. In December 30th, 2013, I was in Las Vegas. I went to a club and brought a girl back with me. We hooked up, and I just remember it was an overly long, grueling 2-hour session. Well, what happened the next morning was I woke up and had this intense burning sensation when I urinated and aching pains all around my penis and pelvis. I thought I had an STD. So when I came back to San Diego, I went to Planned Parenthood because I quit my job, remember? So I don't have health insurance exactly. So I was actually really scared. What's happening here? I have a serious condition here and I have no insurance. So I went to Planned Parenthood, which is like a discounted clinic. They told me it was like a traditional STD, like chlamydia or something like that, and just take 2 of these pills and you'll be fine within 48 hours. It'll all be over. I took a big fresh breath of air and just felt really good. Okay, cool. 2 days went by and nothing changed. It seemed to be getting worse. The pain around me, the aching pain, the burning sensation. I felt sick. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't think. I couldn't do anything. I would literally just lay there in bed in horrendous amounts of pain. I went to community clinics all around San Diego, and they gave me every antibiotic and antiviral medication that exists. At one time, I was on 6 different medications all at the same time, and I was just a wreck. It was just killing everything that was good and everything that was bad inside of me. And weeks went by, and there was no solution, and doctors just kept giving me more medications. When I went back to the doctor, and they told me that I had what sounded like prostate cancer or testicular torsion, which is where the spermatic cord has been twisted and your testicles aren't getting any blood flow, which kills your testicles and requires the removal of your balls. They told me that, and that was what I alluded to in the beginning. And so right after the doctor told me that, they said that I need to go to the ER immediately for surgery, and they need to find out what's going on and immediately work on it. And I refused the ambulance. I usually do. And so I rushed to the ER in my car. I just straight left, sprinted out of that room, went to my car, reversed out, and just started speeding my car through the streets. I was running red lights. And when I finally got to the hospital, I didn't even care which hospital I went to. I just went to the nearest hospital. I just parked my car in the handicap area, crooked, and just left my door open and just started running into the ER. And told them that you need to see me ASAP. I'm about to lose my balls. And they took me seriously. I didn't really fill out any paperwork. They rushed me to the back and immediately they performed an ultrasound. I had documents from the other doctor and I just gave it to them and they quickly reacted. So I remember just waiting, sitting there in pain, waiting for my results in the ER. You know, what's wrong with me? Why am I in so much pain? Why is this happening to me? About 20, 30 minutes later, the doctor came back and told me two things. You don't have cancer and you don't have testicular torsion. And the bad thing he told me was, we don't know what's wrong with you. We don't know where the pain is coming from. And so I told him, I'm in massive amounts of pain. Like, I'm glad that I don't have cancer or I don't have that testicular problem, but what's going on here? Why am I in so much pain? What am I doing here? The doctor just said, we don't know and we can't find anything with you that requires immediate surgery in the ER. This is the ER. You need to see a specialist. You need to see a urologist. And so that began the journey of seeing multiple urologists in the San Diego County. Over 10 medication cycles later, more things going inside me in all places, front and back. I didn't know they had tools for going in the front, and they're not thin, by the way. It's the size of a pencil, and that's in the front. And after seeing over 12 doctors and specialists later, still to this day, they don't know exactly what's causing my pain. I'm currently seeing a physical therapist that believes this is a muscular-based injury in the pelvic and lower abdomen region that is causing my pain. So it's chronic pelvic pain, which is what I have. Chronic pelvic pain syndrome is what I've been diagnosed with. So I've been doing the physical exercises. I've been doing yoga 3 to 5 times a week, which seems to help a little. And overall, since January to where I am today, 11 months later, the pain has gone from, let's say, on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is you're dying. I would say I was at about an 8 I would say I was about an 8 in January. And right now, I'd say I'm about at like a 4, 4.5 currently. So yes, like right now, I'm in a lot of pain just talking. Guys, the pain, confusion of not knowing what's wrong with me, taking multiple medications at the same time, paying out of pocket for your medical expenses, going to the ER, all this medication, and watching all of your savings that I saved up for Knowledge for Men, it really just all went to my healthcare. And all of this just led me into like one of the darkest periods of my life. Thoughts of suicide was a common thought at night as I laid there helplessly in pain on drugs. I could no longer enjoy the simple pleasures of life. Having to get out of bed was one of the hardest things. You're in massive amounts of pain. I don't see a solution. None of these doctors are providing any value. Having to walk to my car, I'd be in a ton of pain. Having to do groceries, I'd be in pain. Having to interview guests, having to do anything. It was just so much, you know. I felt like inside, you know, I was dying. And still to this day, the only thing that really kept me going, that kept me pushing forward, that got me out of bed, that helped me push through all the bullshit was simply the emails I'd get from fans who listened to this podcast and how their life had been changed and how they found inspiration, they found their life's purpose, their relationships are getting better, or they finally woken up from the daily drudgery and just truly living, and just in general how the show has helped them. The guys in the Lion's Den, just watching these guys grow and the transformation. Yeah, the Lion's Den is a private membership group that I have, and just watching them be heavily impacted because of the work I'm doing. And it's really because of you, the listener, who pushed me to continue to publish 2 episodes a week despite being in chronic pain, and being able to continue to push the boundaries of what this podcast can do, and getting all-star guests like Tony Hsieh, the CEO of Zappos, Jordan Belfort from The Wolf of Wall Street, Steve Harvey, top comedian and an actor, and among many other high-profile celebrity guests. I was able to launch the Lion's Den, my private membership group, Double Your Confidence, the podcast Blueprint, 7 Days to Crushing Life, and most recently 10x Your Dating and Relationships, and somehow have managed to keep all of this going despite being in agonizing pain this entire year. And I've refused to take pain medications from the doctor because that's not a solution. Like, why? I don't want to be just laying in bed on pain medication, because that's going to hinder my ability to produce high quality work and be able to create and build and grow this. I just took the pain and carried on. This year I've been challenged harder than any other year in my life. I've been through some tough shit in my life, and this has been the ultimate test of strength, willpower, and endurance. I mean, quitting my job and having to build a business was already a tough enough challenge to overcome, but the addition of doing all of this while being in pain took this challenge to a whole nother level. I know that I won't be in this pain forever. People who've had cancer have beaten it. People who've had it way worse than I could have ever possibly imagined have overcome it. I know I won't give up, and I'll keep fighting this. I'll continue to see the physical therapist. I'll continue doing the yoga. I'll continue searching and reading and looking for alternative solutions to chronic pelvic pain. But most importantly, this pain has brought me to two realizations. Number one is accepting your death. Quote, this is from the movie Lord of the Rings. I wish it need not have happened in my time, said Frodo. So do I, said Gandalf, and so do all who live to see such times. But that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the times that is given to us. J.R.R. Tolkien. When you think about suicide and you look at yourself in the mirror long enough, you'll soon come to the understanding that you're already dying. There's no need to do it yourself because life will do it to you eventually. You still have work to do. You still have things to create and things to experience. So I don't care what happens to me. I just want to do something that matters. That's it. And thinking about this really removes a lot of the fear. It removes those temptations to do things that don't matter. And it really wakes you up. And number two is, this pain is a reminder to myself that I'm going to die one day. You need to hustle and get your best work out while you're still here. So while I'm laying in bed in pain, it's a reminder that I need to get out of bed. Instead of having a voice in your head to tell you to get up, I have a physical reminder. I view this pain as my sidekick. It's like sitting there on my shoulder, giving me pain. And instead, I've turned this pain into a powerful force that has allowed me to always remember that I'm dying. And you need not waste any time. And to go after the things you want. Live the life that you want. Be who you want. And care less about what others think, because it doesn't matter. It's like, you're in pain. You have to do what you want to do, because this is it. This is your moment. And if you don't live your life because of someone else, or you're thinking of what other people think, then you're just going to sit there in pain. And I've somehow managed to turn my greatest disaster into my greatest ally. I view the world in a completely new way, unlike anything I've ever experienced before. I'm free of death. I'm free of pain. I'm free of fear, and nothing can stop me from doing what I want, because no one can take anything away from me, because I've already surrendered it. I'm not sharing this story to get sympathy from anyone. This isn't about me. This is really about you, because there's a few more lessons you can take out of this. One is, nothing ever goes as planned. Like, who would have thought I'd have chronic pain in my penis, my butt, my whole pelvis? Like, what kind of chronic condition is this? You know, this is the most awkward type of pain and situation to share. You know, I didn't think that all the money that I saved up from my job would go to medical bills, and most of the money I'd earned from Knowledge Men would just go to pay for prescription drugs, and those drugs wouldn't work, or they wouldn't give me the solution. Like, I don't mind paying for medicine if it solves the problem, but I spent most of my money that I've earned on my health, and it's left me in this kind of like fragile state. But this was not in my plan, is what I want to say. It's like I had this great plan, and I thought I'd just quit my job and use that money to save up to build a business and get to like $3,000 a month in profit within a few months, and then be back on my feet. But no, life threw a brick at me. You know, not just a brick, but an entire wall of bricks, like the Great Wall of China, that many bricks. You know, I hated that no one could ever relate to this type of situation of just being in pain. And, you know, very few people can resonate with like a chronic pain condition, you know, and not having money to recover, and in a position of having to build a business as the only means of making an income. But what I've come to understand is that how awkward and weird and unfortunate this may be, you know, this is my path. Although an unexpected path, it is still mine. And no matter what circumstances come my way, it's like I can point fingers at this person or that person. I could blame this person. I could blame the girl that I was with that night. You know, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, it's like I have to be willing to take full responsibility for this unfortunate circumstance and handle it and deal with it and turn those challenges into my greatest strengths and into what is actually going to make me a success, and you use those setbacks as fuel. I truly do view this pain as my sidekick. It's like I've done some crazy shit in the last 4 months. Like, I've built so much around Knowledge for Men. Lion's Den, Double Your Confidence, 7 Days to Crushing Life, and just recently launched 10X Your Dating and Relationships. And those things are all doing well. And like, I've been able to use this pain as a motivator, as a driving force, get shit done. No excuses. Like, I can't be watching TV because then I'm just like in pain watching TV. But if I'm in pain and I'm building something, I'm creating something, I can lose myself in my work and truly just get lost and capture the state of flow that gives me the ability to completely almost feel like I'm pain free when I'm completely in the zone. I'm interviewing someone, I'm editing this podcast, I'm like building a product, I'm being artistic and creative and putting all my abilities and all my knowledge into one program. I lose myself in that stuff, completely just lose myself in the moment. And this pain reminds me that, like, hey, you got shit to do. It's like, that's the way I view it. Just like saying, hey, get out of bed. Otherwise I'm going to give you like the full force of my pain. Because if I just sit there and think about it and I'm not doing anything, like the pain just magnifies and it just like overwhelms me and I can't do anything. But if I just stay busy and just keep going, and keep building and keep transforming, and helping other people, then it just seems worth it. It seems like, wow, like maybe if I didn't have this pain, like I'd be like watching a movie at night instead of like writing out my next product or program. It allows me to work 18 hours and wish that I had more hours in the day is what it's done. So whatever challenge you're experiencing, view that challenge as fuel. When you have that challenge, like that's what's going to make you a success. Like that's what's going to give you that momentum, that drive. Like whatever challenge you have, like that's your path. That's your journey. And for the first 6 months of my pain, I rejected this. Like I was, why me is the question that I kept asking. Like, why am I in this much pain? Like, why am I having to do this? Like literally just being in the doctor's office like all week, just going from clinic to clinic, doctor to doctor, urologist, medication to medication, and like not seeing progress. In fact, getting worse. And so for the first 6 months, I did not accept this as mine and I wanted it to go away. And finally, I just realized that it's not going to go away and that I have to accept this as mine and own it. And what I've been able to do is use this as fuel, as motivation to push forward. And the great wall that's been thrown at me, I use this thing and just smash through that wall. Like, show me another wall, because I've already smashed through the great wall. Quote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Marcus Aurelius. And another thing is, how bad do you want it? What is it that you want? How bad do you want it? Because in my position here, the same thing to do would have been to just quit in January when I had this pain. Like, I'm talking like I would just be sitting in bed crying, not just for like 10 minutes, but like I was in so much pain and I would just be crying because I'm in so much pain and there's no solution. Like there's nothing that can be done except take pain medication. And so that's what I did. At first I was like, okay, take the pain, make it go away. But that's just a short-term solution. You're just putting a Band-Aid on the pain. I'm pretty sure you would agree that if I would have hopped on the podcast and just told you guys like, hey, look, I'm in a lot of pain here. I gotta sort this out. I gotta get my health in check before I return to building this. I'm pretty sure that most of you would just be like, yeah, like go get healthy. Like, absolutely. Like, you don't need to do this. I actually wrote it out. It was like in episode 20 or something, and I actually wrote out what I could say to you guys. I wish I kept it, but I actually just deleted it because I was like, fuck that. What if I just kept going? Is what I asked myself. Like, what if I just kept going? Like, what if I did it this year? Like, what if I just threw out all the pain? What if I just kept going? What if I just pushed through it? And at the end, when I overcome this pain one day, whenever that is, at some point in the future, I'll have put in years worth, or hopefully just a year's worth of work and built an entire community so that when I do become 100%, I'll be able to sit down and really start doing some heavy lifting. Because what you're listening to now, and the reason why you're listening to this, is really because I chose to continue. And I chose to just push through the pain. I chose to get out of bed and just perform and do the work despite being in pain. I just took it one day at a time. One day at a time. I literally would count down the hour. Like I'd write my schedule down and just go hour by hour. Like, all right, let's edit this podcast for 15 more minutes. 15 more minutes. All right, before I go to bed, let's find one more guest. Let's reach out to one more guest. Just one day at a time. What can I do today to make this thing even better? I would tell myself. Because what would be the difference if I just quit? What would I have done? I would have just been in pain and not have had this awesome community and not have this transformation. Because I'm telling you, like, this thing is what kept me going. This thing really kept me going. It kept me moving. It kept me alive. I am as deeply connected to this community as I hope you feel you are too. And the time is going to pass anyways. So I could sit there in bed in pain, or I could interview people in pain. I could build a product in pain, or I could just sit there in pain on drugs. Which one is going to help me and which one is going to help more people? Which one is going to advance the cause? And by working on things I was passionate about, like I said, it just helped me keep my mind off the pain. So I wanted it. Like, I wanted to build this. And my mother thought I was crazy. My parents, they just thought this was crazy to be like, you're in a lot of pain. And like, I was working myself what looked like to them to death. And I would tell myself, like, I'm going to die sitting here on this chair. Like, I'm going to die holding this microphone. Like, I'm not going to quit. I just didn't see anything else. There was nothing else that I wanted to do more than to be sitting here and holding this mic. So, how bad do you want it? Like, how bad do you want whatever it is that you want? How bad do you want it? And I think you can learn something else from that too. It's like, if you don't want it that bad, then you're doing the wrong thing. Like, if you can't force yourself to really fully commit everything, then maybe you're doing the wrong thing. And you should find something that you're willing to commit to that much, where nothing can stop you. It's like, this is it. Everything makes sense now. Like, this is it. This is what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to stop. And if you're not doing that thing, then you got to switch it up. Quote, "A man on a 1,000-mile walk has to forget his goal and say to himself every morning, today I'm going to cover 25 miles and then rest up and sleep." Leo Tolstoy. One of the biggest things that I pulled out of this crisis is that no one is going to do it for you. If you sit and wait for someone to save you, then you're going to die. No one is going to come to your rescue. If you're in a pile of shit right now, then you're going to remain in a pile of shit until you climb yourself out. The people who love you care about you and want what's best for you and will never wish anything bad upon you. Yet, you cannot depend on anyone, including your parents, your family, your best friend, your significant other, to help you climb out of that shit that you're in. They're concerned about their own lives too, as they should be. There is nothing that anyone can do for you, and you cannot blame or resent anyone for where you are or what happened to you. This is life, and we only have one shot at this game. So, with myself, like, I was pointing fingers at other people, jealous of other people. All these bad qualities just started coming out. I was angry. I was really angry. And I wanted this to just end. But no one's going to do it for you. No one's going to do anything for you. Like, you have to do it yourself. Like, if you want something, you have to do it. You cannot hope that something is going to happen to you. You have to make it happen. You have to bring yourself to the world and not hope the world will bring itself to you. Quote, most people do not really want freedom because freedom involves responsibility, and most people are frightened of responsibility. Sigmund Freud. You see, this has been my story, and I've kept this a secret from the world. I think there's probably less than 5 people who know about this, and today I'm sharing this with everyone. But this is about you. What are you going to do with this? Are you going to continue the same thing day after day? Or are you going to fucking rise and become the man you're born to be? I hope you choose the one that scares the shit out of you. Quote, death smiles at us all. All a man can do is smile back. Marcus Aurelius. Now walk into the unknown. Go into the uncharted territory, the uncharted seas. Set your sail and go in a direction that you've never been before. Go now.